Hey guys, welcome back. So this is the video I know you guys were dying to see. If you want to know what's on my right hand, you're going to find out on Saturday, so stay tuned for that. But for my left hand, I'm going to do a very basic application. I'm using Bette by Revel and my Virgo and Gem dip liquids. I'll have everything linked for you in the box down below. But this is going to be my nightmare. I am going to do an entire mani with no e-file. I'm going to show you guys how I hand file. It's something that I've been trying to practice a little bit here and there because I know there are so many of you guys that are just not comfy using an e-file. And for me, I'm like the complete opposite. I don't like using a hand file. I feel like I have more control over an e-file, but I know that's such a personal preference thing. And I wanted to give you guys some helpful hints when contouring and, shaping your nails. So that is what we're going to do today. So I'm going to speed through a little bit of just basic application. I wanted you to really see the entire thing start to finish as quickly as possible. That way, you guys see everything, you don't miss anything, and I wanted to make sure this was as true to everything that I'm doing as possible. Not that I ever think you guys wouldn't think I was being honest. I swear, though, I did not use an e-file on these nails. I had a witness. Just so you guys know, I was FaceTiming CandiSkinCare, actually. My girl CJ and I were on FaceTime while I was doing this mani, so she can account for my lack of e-file usage. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to do an entire set with no e-file. And if I'm just being honest, I hated it. Hated it. I almost went through withdrawals, even doing this voiceover now. I'm still wearing the mani. It doesn't look terrible, but I'm still like itchy. You ever get like skin crawly, itchy feeling? Because I feel like it's not finished. Like my mani is not finished if I didn't use an e-file. But again, that's just a me thing. So I wanted to jump right in with tip number 1 for any mani that you're doing, whether you're using a file or an e-file. I don't know how well you guys can gauge what I'm doing on film, as well as I could in my face. But when I apply my base, I do leave a little gap between the dip and my cuticle. And I do that for a reason. I mean, some people like it, some people don't. Some people think it looks like it grows out too quick, and I understand. But leaving that gap there will give you space to get in with your e-file or your hand file and make sure that cuticle line is nice and round and smooth. So that is always my tip number 1. Get close enough to your cuticle, but don't touch it. Make sure you leave a little bitty gap between your cuticle and the dip. And that's why also I use my orange wood stick or a toothpick just to, refine that, make sure there's that gap there. It doesn't have to be huge. Like if you can see the gap between, my cuticle and my product is not big, it's not wide. It's just enough room to get in there with an e-file bit or my hand file. And you're going to see me do that coming up here in a little bit. I'm going to let you guys watch me get my dip on real quick. And I will come back in just a bit. We'll activate and we'll get all into the hand filing. So don't go anywhere. Stick around. I'll be right back. now that I am going to show you guys how I cap and clear, I'm going to move on to tip number 2, and that is to cap and clear. I know you guys probably think I sound like a broken record telling you to cap and clear, cap and clear, cap and clear. I sound like Mary Poppins. I don't know why her voice just popped into my head. Anyway, I always cap and clear, whether I'm hand filing, e-filing, not filing, which never happens, but let's just say that happened. I would cap and clear anyway, and I'll tell you why. Not only does clear dip have more strength than pigmented or glitter dip, glitter and pigment can compromise the integrity of the strength of the acrylic, so clear will always have more strength than anything else. So yay for more strength, less likely of your nail to break. But also, the clear is going to act like a buffer layer between your colored dip and your file. So if you have that clear layer on top, you're less likely, and I'm not saying it's impossible, it depends on how heavy-handed you are with your file, but if you have that clear on top, you're much less likely to injure or destroy that color dip underneath. So that's tip number 2. Make sure you cap and clear. So now I'm going to go in with my activator. I always religiously do 2 coats of activator. I'm sure that's probably not necessary in most cases, but I did have one experience, I believe it was with Kiara Sky Liquids, where I put on 1 coat of activator, waited a generous amount of time, and then went to go file, and chunks of my nail was like, not my nail, the dip. It wasn't like gross or gory. Chunks of dip were flying off my nails, and I was like, uh-oh. And activator fixed it. So I just now always do 2 coats. I feel like you can't over activate, so that's what I'm gonna do. So after I activate, I watch this, guys. It's a bubble. I don't know where the heck it came from. I'm like, it's a random bubble. Anyway, so I did wait a good few minutes before I started filing, and now I'm gonna go into my shaping. I have my whole little routine, and I'm not suggesting you guys need to do the same thing that I do, but my routine is always I do my sidewalls, get them nice and straight and shaped, and then I do my free edge. Now I do a little bit of a tapered square here, so depending on what shape your nails are, you're gonna do this, similarly or much, much different. If you have a round shape, you're not gonna wanna do a square free edge, just that kind of stuff. So I am gonna just show you quickly how I do the shaping on, that one nail. And now we're going to get into contouring. So the first thing I do, I'm using a dull file, by the way. This is a really old file. I don't want to use a new file because I don't want to cut myself. Hot mess Marla over here. I will cut myself. I am going in that little crevice that I left between my cuticle and the dip, and I'm just smoothing out my cuticle line. I'm going to get that done first. Once that's done, I can blend down that bottom half of the nail, so it's got a nice curve going downward, blended down into the cuticle area, and then I'll do a little bit on the sidewalls. And I figure you might get a better idea of this if I hush for a minute and let you guys watch. I'm going to show you it. I'm not sure if I'm going to show you all my nails. I'll show you a bunch of them. There are like 5. But yeah, I'm going to do this on all of my nails, and that's all I'm going to do. That's really all I do with my e-file. I go and I refine my cuticle line, contour a little bit on the sides, smooth out anything on the surface that I need to, and that's pretty much it. So I'm going to let you guys have your zen moment watching me not use my e-file, and I'll be back in just a little bit. My nails filed and contoured and shaped the way I like them. For some weird reason, I felt like using dip top coat today. I don't know why, I was just in a mood, so I'm gonna go ahead and buff my nails. Another thing I can tell you to do is if you are using dip top coat, this is a step that you do not want to skip. You want to make sure you buff your nails, and you can take this opportunity to go back into that crevice again and smooth, like really get smooth that cuticle line and smooth over all the file lines that you may have made. If you're using a gel top coat, you want to make sure to skip the buffing. Gel top coat needs a textured or rough surface to adhere to, so buffing will probably lead to gel polish peeling and chipping and all that stuff. So if you're going to use gel top coat like I normally would, do not buff. Only buff if you're using dip top coat or regular nail polish top coat. So that is how I file my nails. I did go ahead and top coat and put a little paw print stamp on there off camera because that's nothing you haven't seen before. And I'm gonna go in with my Hot Mess Marla cuticle oil. I figured, you know what, I haven't mentioned it in a good minute, so I wanted to mention it again and let you guys know it is still available. It is not going anywhere, and proceeds from this particular scent do go to the Humane Society of the Treasure Coast. So we are saving fur friends and keeping our cuticles healthy all at the same time. And what is better than that? Nothing is better than that. My opinion, I know, but I know most of you agree with me. I hope you guys found this helpful. Let me know what you thought down below, and I will see you guys in my next vid. Love you, bye.